What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday, October 11th, day number 88 inside the Big Brother house. We are live this morning and we are down to our final three. Who won part one of the three-part final HoH comp last night? Then let's take a deep dive into each week of the season before we find out who will be crowned the winner of Big Brother 26. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button. If you're having fun during this live stream, smash that like button. Hit the notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. To give you guys a little recap, if you haven't been keeping up with everything that's been going on, Chelsea, MJ, Cam, and Rubina were our final four. Chelsea won HoH. She secured her spot in the final three and nominated Cam and MJ. Nominations were really just kind of a formality, right? There really wasn't any point to them. It was all about the veto competition, which MJ won, giving her the option to evict either Cam or Rubina, which we saw play out last night. She eventually chose to evict Rubina and keep Cam. So our final three, MJ, Chelsea, and Cam, one of them will be the winner of Big Brother 26. Now, a couple of other little side notes from last night's episode I just kind of wanted to mention. First off, the jury segment. It was kind of funny that Quinn was very enthusiastic about the possibility of him and Leah. Meanwhile, Leah seemed a little less enthused now that the whole thing was a reality and a possibility in there for the taking. Doesn't seem like she's that into it as much as Quinn is. He seemed to be dropping hints left, right, and center every chance he got. Now, eventually, Chemo shows up to the jury house. Everyone seemed a little bit upset by that, especially Angela. She loved Chemo, and T-Core as well, kind of upset to see Chemo there, just one of her best allies the entire season, almost from the very start. So not happy, of course, to see him entering the house now. Oh, the jury house, that is. Angela was really actually hoping to see Chelsea because she does see her as kind of the mastermind, the schemer of the whole season, the reason why she's in the jury house in the first place. Leah and Quinn kind of say that MJ should be the one who should be walking in the door next. She is just such a huge competition threat. She's put that target on her back. We also then had Angela. Oh man, she had one of the best lines maybe of the entire season, because they end up watching the video, right, to see how everything played out with HoH and the veto competition, and she said Cam's been lying to us. He's not D1 nothing. she really got him with that one. Really, as a whole, I thought the jury segment, right, you can only take everything with a grain of salt, right? Because they are editing it to try and make us be more guessing on who the jury actually wants, but they do want to give us something. So takeaways that I got from it, it seemed like Angela and Leah are very pro MJ. T-Core and Chemo are very pro Chelsea. I would think that Rubina, you could throw her in there with them as, kind of a trio. And I think they are all, very pro Chelsea. And if it does end up being MJ and Chelsea, I think you can even put Cam into that category as well. And then you also have Quinn, who seems like he's a little bit split, right? I think he's given points for both MJ and Chelsea to both be valid winners, and made, very positive statements towards both of them. But I think he leans a little bit maybe MJ because of where Leah leans, right? I think he's kind of swayed that way to maybe go MJ. But in the end, I don't know. He could very, very easily also go for Chelsea because he recognizes how good her game actually is. So even if that is the case, though, like I already mentioned, you've kind of got the trio of T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo, plus potentially Cam, that would be enough for Chelsea to win over MJ. And if it's reverse, I would believe that everyone would then go for Chelsea over Cam. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Again, this could be kind of misleading editing from the jury on who they could see as a winner. But nonetheless, that's kind of what my takeaways were from it. We then had also a couple of other things I wanted to mention from the episodes before we move into the feeds. Jag was on the show. He said some stuff. Derrick will be talking to the house guests at some point. I think they said right before first part of the HoH competition. It could just be potentially just in general during Friday's clip show, which we'll see tonight. They're going to have kind of the final 3 dinner and then the start of part 1 of HoH. And Derrick's supposed to be on tonight's episode, kind of talking to them at some point about something. We then also had Taylor announced as the jury roundtable host. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I think Taylor has one of the best stories that we've ever had of a winner. From beginning to end, the story arc of her journey through Big Brother is one of the most amazing and fascinating and fun stories to see play out. Starting on the outs, being, pretty much bullied into putting on her finale dress, and then being bullied that she wore her finale dress, and just that whole situation, to being on the outs, then finding herself in the majority alliance that kind of built themselves around to protect her, getting all the way to the end, winning some competitions when she needed to. And I think just overall her story is fantastic. Do I think she makes a great jury host? I don't know. And really for 2 reasons. For one, personality-wise, as the host duty goes, I'm sure she's going to do an amazing job, right? She is fantastic on camera. She, speaks very eloquently. She can, bring that personality, that factor to it. I'm sure she's going to do fantastic that way. Qualification-wise, I just don't know if she lines up with who I would actually want to be the roundtable host. I want somebody who really is going to be able to push different ideas to the jury, get them thinking about the vote. I know it doesn't necessarily mean that much, and most of the time the jury host is just reading off the cue cards anyway, but I want somebody who's going to have a little bit of a take, right? Let them have that, right? If you're bringing somebody in to host a roundtable, you usually are bringing them in for a reason, right? Because there should be somebody who knows the dynamics of the jury. It's why Dr. Will was so good. Not only was he a winner, but on All Stars, he was in the jury as well. So he's been on both sides of the jury table, right? He's faced the jury, and he's always also been a part of the jury. Taylor hasn't had that opportunity, right? She's only just been on the winning side of a jury, and on top of it, a winning side of a jury that I think was a little bit tainted. Could she have won her season against Monty anyway without that? Potentially. I think it might have been even maybe a little bit closer of a vote. But overall, I think, yeah, there's definitely a chance she would have won even without that. But we can't deny that the jury, when they were leaving the house, very much were not very pro Taylor. They were usually pro somebody else. And then by the time they got exit interviews and made it to the jury house, they were ending up very pro Taylor and for her. Because all of the questions were, how do you feel about Taylor? How do you feel about how she was treated? What do you think about this? And they were all just like, well, we love Taylor. I don't know what you mean. So they changed their story up real quick, and they wanted to show that they supported her. But again, could she possibly have won even without that? Absolutely. We'll never actually really know, but still, I just don't think necessarily strategic-wise, she's someone that I would view as a strong player. She had a pretty good social game, right? Maybe not the best, obviously, because she started on the very wrong side of the social aspect. But I think overall, I want somebody that my first choice was Danielle Reyes. I thought she would have been fantastic. There's plenty of other great choices as well. You could have had somebody like Dan, I think would bring a lot of personality. He hasn't been on a jury, so that kind of throws that part of it out of the water. That's why I think Danielle Reyes would have been fantastic. But there's plenty of other people. I do think, though, somebody who had been on a jury and had won would be a better choice. If you're going to go with a winner, maybe they just do it every season. It's a new winner, right? Maybe next season, like Jag hosts it. And then the year after that, it's like whoever won this season hosts it. I'd be cool with that. That'd be kind of fun. Or you could even go with what BB Can had done at one time, where Canada's favorite player, they actually ended up being the host, and they had Kiefer do it for one of the seasons. So there's lots of ways you can go. I think Taylor's going to do a fantastic job with the hosting duties. Do I think she's a perfect choice for it? Not necessarily. She's not who I would have chose, but it is what it is. Moving on from that, we also have America's favorite house guest, like I was just mentioning with Canada's favorite house guest and Kiefer hosting the roundtable. We're going to have the vote for America's favorite house guest. That vote is up on the CBS website, so make sure you get your votes in for that on who you would want to win $50K. So it's a big prize for somebody. I'm sure kind of the favorite for that is Tucker. I would then say my top 4 would be obviously Tucker, Angela. After that, I would say MJ and Chelsea. I think both have a little bit of a shot at it, right? If anybody does. But I think it's going to be Tucker by a large margin. Now, let's get to the feeds. This is what you guys really want to know about. Who won the final HoH part 1 of 3? Who came out on top? Well, the feeds were down for a while when they were having the final 3 dinner and for part 1 of the competition. And when they came back, they all seemed miserable, right? Like nobody seemed like they were particularly happy. It was kind of hard to tell who came out on top of it. It was an endurance comp, which part 1 of the HoH usually is. It sounds like it was kind of like a thing where they had like almost like the wall competition, but they had like a handlebar they had to hold on to. And it ended up where your winner of HoH part 1 was Chelsea. Chelsea comes out on top, wins part 1. She will go automatically to part 3 of HoH on finale night. Now, apparently MJ dropped first, which means Cam came up just short once again. MJ and Cam will face off in part 2. The winner will then go against Chelsea in part 3 on finale night. Whoever wins that gets to pick who sits next to them in the final 2. So big congratulations to Chelsea for pulling off that victory. Now, it's, again, 1 part of the 3-part competition. So she still has another big thing she has to do. MJ feels pretty down. She feels like she's kind of set up here not to win unless she is able to win part 2 and to win part 3. She seemed like she was kind of getting that realization that, you know what, no matter what, Chelsea and Cam are going to end up taking each other. I don't know if maybe something was said during the competition or if she's just kind of realizing that vibe. But it does seem like that might be something that's kind of settling in for her. Chelsea obviously was very happy to pull off the victory. Cam also seemed a little down, obviously coming up short once again in a competition. But it does seem that at this moment, MJ needs to win, right? If she wants to be in the final 2 chairs, she needs to win HoH. Now, if she does not win, I don't see her getting to the final 2. I think Chelsea and Cam are taking each other. If she wins, though, and she wants to win the entire game, she has to take Cam. If she takes Chelsea, I think she loses the game as well. So that's another big aspect of it. If she even wins the HoH, would she cut Chelsea in the end, or would she take Cam, which would get her the win? If she takes Chelsea, I think she would end up in second place. I think at this moment, and we can kind of go over some more like individual jury scenarios here in just a bit. We'll jump into the chat and we'll talk to you guys about it. But at this moment, the way I kind of see it, Chelsea wins in all scenarios. So if MJ wants to come out on top, she has to win. She has to take Cam. If Chelsea or Cam win, they take each other and Chelsea wins. So that's kind of how I see it at the moment. But let me know what you guys are thinking. Like I said, we have tonight the Memory Lane episode where it'll be the final 3 dinner. They'll see some clips from the season. They'll talk about, oh, wasn't it funny when Tucker did this? Or, oh my gosh, can't you believe when Angela did that? So they'll go over all that kind of stuff. And then we'll have the first part of the final HoH that'll start on the episode. And then after that, we will have Sunday's finale where we will crown a winner of BB26. We will also be live for that. We were live last night for the episode. It's always a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, watching the episode. And I'm very excited to see the finale on who ends up winning and hanging out with you guys. It's a 2-hour finale on Sunday, so make sure you come on out for that. Now, yeah, we're going to jump in the chat here and say what's up to everybody. Before we do that, just a couple of little plugs, right? Just a thank you for everybody for coming on out, supporting me all season. We possibly will have updates tomorrow and Sunday. It depends on when they actually cut the feeds, whether or not they bring them back after part 2 is over or not. We'll find out who won part 2. We'll have a little bit more information as we head on into the finale, but we'll definitely be live on Sunday. And thank you guys all once again for all the love, support you've shown me over the season and just over my entire journey on YouTube. It's been a wild ride. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you are still watching this live stream, if you're having a good time, if you're still watching this video, smash that like button. It lets YouTube algorithm know that we're having a good time here and other people should check it out too. And you can hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all of my socials. I'm sure in chat, the bots probably posted it a couple times. They're also in the description down below of this video. Check out things like the Twitter and the Discord. Twitter and Discord are a great place to kind of keep track of when new videos are posted, when new streams are going live. But also Discord as well is just such a great community that we've built over there. There's tons of people who are in the Discord, in the chat right now, and they're always talking about what's going on in the feeds, what's going on with the episodes, other reality shows, and there's a lot of them that are out right now. Gosh, we got Survivor. What else? There's I haven't checked it out just yet too much. I've seen a little bit of the first episode, The Summit. House of Villains just started up. Traitors Canada is going on. We're also going to have Survivor Australia, which is going to be probably starting up fairly soon. I think they just filmed a lot of that, and they filmed the season before that too. I think that's going to be coming out as well. So there's just so much going on. People are always chatting about that stuff. People are also just posting their birthdays. We celebrate your birthday up in the Discord, even posting pictures of your pet. So you can go check that as well. You can check out the Ori Fund, right? If you want to check out the Ori Fund, these final streams this week are actually sponsored by Ori Moonwater. You can get your Ori Moonwater and find out all the info at the Ori Fund. My lawyers tell me that I must tell you that no moon water will actually be shipped to anybody's house. There is no obligation of ever getting any moon water at all when you gift to the Ori Fund. So yeah, get your Ori moon water today. You can also check out things like Throne and stuff like that too if you wanted, but just hitting that like button is the easiest way to support the channel. Other things you can do too, we're going to be jumping into the chat here, and if you want to do super chats or if you want to join the channel as a member, you can do that too as well. But again, the easiest and simplest way, just hitting that thumbs up button. You have no idea how much that helps out so much. But yeah, let's jump into the chat and talk to you guys. What do you guys think of everything going on? What do you think of Chelsea winning part 1? Do you think that MJ or Cam have the better shot at part 2? Keep in mind, part 2 is usually something that involves memory of the season and kind of weeks, something that we just seen a face-off between the two for Vito, so it should be very similar for part 2. What do you guys think about what's happening? What are you guys saying here? Stan, how are you? Sunshine, Latina, White Ghost, Fawn Miller, Michelle, Dudley T Gold, how are you guys? Ronald, Ori fans, how you doing? Tasha Talks, Eva, Michelle, Otter, how you doing, Otter? Real Peaches, how are you guys? Baby Bacon Cheese, that's a great name. Georgia, how are you? Sandy, how you doing, Sandy? LED Paint. What are you guys saying? Stin says Survivor, that's still running, especially after the listen, the dyslexia is kicking in. Abdominable. The dyslexia is kicking in there. But yes, Stin, actually, I'll say this about this new season of Survivor. It's not that bad so far. It's honestly, it's kind of all right. I don't like that they do the 3 tribes, you know, for so long and then do era. I'm more of a fan of 2 tribes and bigger tribes to start the game. I feel like when you only have 6 people, it limits things a lot. But I'll give them some credit. It hasn't been terrible, right? Everybody seems like they know how to jump, right? Doesn't seem like anybody knows more than 5 Taylor Swift songs, so we're safe there too. You know, they all potentially know how to climb a ladder. So it seems like, you know, so far no quitters, right? There's time, but overall it's been not bad. Daughter of King Jesus, how are you? Thank you, Ori, for being who you are. I appreciate that. Cam is a professional coaster. Ashley perfectly said. Chelsea told y'all in the tub the other day she was gonna win 1 and 3. She manifested it, Michelle. T Gold, happy for Chelsea. MJ is gonna smoke Cam. That would be a fun showdown between probably the two best players of the game this entire season, with MJ and Chelsea going off in part 3 for potentially the win. Or whoever would win that part 3. That would be really interesting, T Gold. Linda, how are you, Linda? How's it going? Tommy, I hope they wouldn't be a bitter jury. So far, it doesn't seem too bitter. The one who seems the most bitter is actually Angela against Chelsea, because I think she recognizes that Chelsea was in control of everything, but she's a little upset about it, which is why she would lean towards Leah. But other than that, I don't think anybody's particularly bitter. Doesn't seem like that. Now, potentially, though, here's where things could be a problem, right? If MJ and Cam are in the final 2, and maybe because MJ won the final 3 HoH and she cut Chelsea, maybe Chelsea gets bitter. Maybe Rubina is bitter at MJ for cutting her at final 4, and she has 2 bitter jury votes. Potentially then T-Core and Chemo jump onto that, and that's 4 right there, and then Cam ends up winning the game because of a bitter jury. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I do not know at all, or have no indication that would be what would happen, right? I think actually Chelsea would I think she would respect it, right? Like, I think she would understand if Chelsea cut her at the end. So I don't necessarily think she would be bitter, but potentially that could be a situation where a bitter jury could come into play. But as of now, it seems like everybody is fairly based, right? Like, the only one I'd say could be a little bit bitter described would be Angela at the moment. Get some coffee. Let's see here. What do you think about Leah? Leah would cheat. Listen, Leah's my queen. Listen, I said Leah was my queen from the very start. I was all down for Leah. But if Leah and Quinn end up happy, they could do your thing. But I will say, like I said, she didn't seem exactly as enthused about the idea now that it was actually an opportunity. As soon as it became real, it seemed like maybe the fire had cooled off a little bit. I really enjoyed this year's Janky World. Was really good. I learned the songs. Janky. How many times will Cam stop and rest in part 2? Hopefully not too many. Ori Taylor will be the host on Sunday. Yes, Lala. Like I said earlier, I think Taylor's going to do a fantastic job, as the host in the hosting duties, right? She's got plenty of skill in that aspect. She's great in front of camera. She's very, very eloquent, and very good with her words, and she's witty, and she's quick, and she follows the game, right? It's not like she doesn't watch and pay attention to what's going on. So she's going to be great all in that aspect. I just don't think she would be my first choice, and I kind of don't want her to be like the permanent host if they're going down this route. I wouldn't mind if every year, like, another winner kind of hosts it, right? Like, maybe next year Jag hosts it. Maybe the year after that, it would be whoever wins this season. And I think that would be kind of fun if every year there's kind of a new host. Because you have this big pool of players, and I'm kind of happy to see they've started to utilize that more, right? We had earlier in the season Jag, Taylor, and Cody doing that weird little episode that was to catch people up after the Olympics. We had Derrick, who's going to be on tonight's episode. We had Jag on last night's episode. So they're starting to actually, like, utilize that player pool that they have, and it's very deep. So why not use them for more things? I just don't know if I necessarily want Taylor to do it all of the time. But yeah, definitely I think she'll do a great job in the duties of the host and kind of having that all take place. Let's see where we're at. Hey, or since me and you and Big D are in Philly, we should get together. Oh, that would be actually pretty cool. let's see where we're at here. Is part 2 comp tonight? Yes, I believe it should take place today at some point, probably even maybe this afternoon, depending on how quickly they can get it all set up. What was part 1? It was kind of like an endurance comp where they had like a handlebar they had to hold on to up top. Chelsea 100% deserves the win. Her social game is on point. And she's also won HoH and veto. That girl came to play. I am 100% with you. Chelsea has done an amazing job all season. Her social game, like you said, was fantastic. She's won competitions when she's needed to. Even the competitions where she hasn't won, some person has won where she's had a little bit of strings that she could pull on them to get that HoH to go the way that she wanted it to go. So she's just done a phenomenal job this entire season. What do we got here? Arlene coming on in with a super chat. What was the comp, and were the others close? So the comp was kind of an endurance comp where they had like a handlebar they had to hold on to. So similar to the wall competition, but instead of your handholds being at your side, it was kind of on top. As far as how the others did, MJ dropped first. And then Cam was second. As far as how long after MJ dropped, I'm not 100% sure on the times. I just know that MJ dropped first, and then Cam was second, and then Chelsea pulled off the win. Which also, again, if you kind of asked me before going into that competition who had the best shot at that competition, I would have probably said MJ. So MJ to drop first is actually pretty surprising. And I think partly why she's very down in the dumps for not pulling this off and kind of feeling a little bit helpless at the moment. And then Cam, I wouldn't even actually have picked him as potentially somebody who would do very well, because usually like the more muscular guys, they actually don't do that well in the endurance competitions. It's only been more recently that the larger guys have started to dominate the wall, and I think that's because they've given them different handholds. Now at least they have more options for handholds for everybody, but it does seem like now that they've changed that up, it does give those bigger guys a little bit more of an advantage in that competition. But I wouldn't have picked Chelsea. Chelsea would have probably been the person I would have picked in third to win an endurance competition like that. So big ups to her. Cam is good with his days. He is, and he didn't do bad in the veto competition. But in the end, MJ is also very good with her days and was able to pull off the win against Cam, as she did actually fall behind in that competition as well and was able to come from behind to win. So it'll be interesting to see if she's able to pull it off again, or maybe Cam can give her a fight. It's actually a pretty good little rematch we have here of the two of them in part 2. So it's going to be fun. Whoever wins part 3 should get Cam in the final 2. 100% agree. It's a guaranteed locked up win. And I think that should be the plan of both Chelsea and MJ, is to take Cam. But I don't know 100% if that's what MJ would do, or if she would take Chelsea or not. Angela bitter? No, maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's see here. Where was Tommy? I just saw Tommy. Did I lose it? No, here we go. Just made my 10 videos for MJ as 10 votes as MJ as America's favorite player. Start with 5, but watch a short video after the first. Get 5 to get another 5 for a total of 10. Okay, so you get 5 votes free. There's a little video, and then you get like another votes free. Okay, so you get 10 votes. You put them in for MJ. So who you guys got? Who are you voting for America's favorite player? I know a lot of people are probably thinking Tucker. A lot of people might even be thinking Angela. Like I said, I think MJ and Chelsea have a hitter shot, right? Like they got a shot at it, but nothing really crazy. And I think those would be my top 4. But what are you guys thinking? I think Friday, I missed that. That was an answer to a question. Well, I'm shocked he absolutely can't win nothing and was a pro player. Well, he wasn't pro. He played in college for Penn State, and then also later for, I think, University of Massachusetts. And that's where he played more and put up more numbers. And I'll say, like, like Angela said, I don't know if he was necessarily D1 anything. There's a reason why he wasn't drafted. You know what I'm saying? I looked up the stats. I did my research. If I was a general manager, I would not even have him on my board. It would not even be, if any of my scouts approached me with Cam and I just looked at the stats, I wouldn't even look at the video. I would just look at the stats. And if they showed me that, I'd say I would fire them. The scouts, you'd be gone. Get out of my office. you bring me this guy? This is who you want me to draft? Not a chance. Not a chance. I bet the Jags would probably draft Cam. They'd probably do it. Jacksonville. They got Tony Khan, I think, doing the undrafted free agents. He'd probably give him a shot. Even Tony Khan. Actually, no, we know this for a fact. They wouldn't have given him a shot because they didn't. Love Cam, but he should not win. Let's see. So glad we still have feeds. Yes, for now we do still have feeds. Though I will say I wouldn't mind if we didn't have feeds for part 1 and 2, and we didn't find out information. I wouldn't mind if that happened and then Sunday was when we found out everything. I think that would also be fun. I think at this point feeds are not as important for everything that goes down, and it would be a little bit more interesting for the finale if we found out live what went down. But yeah, it's also still good to always have a little bit of an insight in there. Under no circumstances will T-Core vote for MJ. It doesn't fit her higher purpose. She was always people over profits, and Chelsea was her very close ally, or at least she thought. She was more misted by Chelsea. So yeah, I also think T-Core is very strongly in the Chelsea side, no matter who is up in the final 2. I think T-Core and Chemo and Rubina, you can kind of lock them in as a voting block of 3, which again is also something we brought up earlier in the season, right? When you have these duos and these trios, I think we brought it up after the Tucker vote and they got out Joseph, and I was like, man, I feel like you should have broken up that trio. At the very least, get rid of one of them so you only have a duo to take care of, because a trio in jury is such a strong thing. And if you're not friends with them, if you burn one of them, that's 3 jury votes. And when you only need one more to lose, that is tight. That is not a good situation. So yeah, it should be kind of tough for anyone not named Chelsea to win. I think Cam said around 12 p.m. Yeah, it was late when the feeds came back. I'd say probably around then. I tweeted. I don't know. Somebody check the timestamp. Direfest 2.0. I'll say, you know what? I didn't mind Janky World. I thought Janky World, they learned a little bit. We also didn't necessarily have a problem with wall yellers. There wasn't really any secrets in the house that were, juicy enough to exposed. So the feeds weren't going down as much. So overall, I think it was a better experience. The one thing is it did kind of slow things down. I like when they shake the game up more in a different kind of way, other than just like the little bit of a torture psychologically that had on them. For example, with Direfest, if we had it executed more like this, where the feeds didn't go down as much, but we also had that split out house aspect, I think it would actually have worked out really well. But overall, I do like when they try the mid-season twist, because I feel like Big Brother has 2 problems towards the end game. Right around like the final 10, you start getting the, either usually it's a big alliance that kind of dominates everything and has a chokehold on the game. This season, we actually didn't have that. Or it just starts getting a little bit more predictable, where people kind of know where everybody stands, and kind of where numbers are, and it gets a little bit easy to kind of figure out what your best move is. So I do really like when they throw in these kind of mid-season twists. Now you had Direfest, Zombie Week, and Janky World. Now, necessarily did not work, but I like the idea that those are happening, because it does kind of shake things up at a time when it normally has a little bit of a lull. There's also a downtime around now, around final 5 to the end. And there's only really just so many conversations that can happen. There's only so much that can happen. I would like to see them do more of kind of like a double eviction type of an episode, let's say for Final Five, where we see the HoH, the veto, and the nominations and everything all on that night, and then the vote. Then that takes us right into the Final Four. You can do another episode like that, maybe like a day or two later, right? Let's say Final Five is a Sunday episode, Final Four is like the Wednesday episode, and then your finale is the Thursday episode. You could even do like Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, or whatever you want to do it, right? But I just think speeding that process up would be a huge benefit to the show's end game, because there always is that dip, right? People kind of dip off, especially this week was really kind of slow, and it's just unavoidable, right? When there's only one person voting, there's only so many conversations you can actually have in that situation. So yeah, it just, I feel like they need to figure out a way to kind of speed things up a little bit. Which probably a lot of people could say about me reading a chat. I go off on a lot of tangents. Chelsea would expect MJ to respect her if she cut her at Final Two. She should respect MJ. I'm sticking with Chelsea win if in Final Two. If the other two, the one who cuts Chelsea would lose. Did I miss who won the first part? Yes, Tyra. How are you doing? It was Chelsea. Chelsea won part 1 of the 3-part HoH, so she will go all the way to part 3. Not pro player, D1. Yeah, D1 college athlete and marginal one. Is he? Was he really? Maybe should have been like a D2, maybe D3. Maybe JUCO. Chelsea won first. Why won't Julie be there? Where? Well, Julie won't be for, if you're talking about the round table. So Julie usually never hosts it. But Taylor is going to be hosting it this year. Normally it's Dr. Will who hosts it. But that's who take it over, if you're talking about that. Otherwise, Julie will be there on Sunday. If Cam wins and picks MJ, then Chelsea is that would actually maybe be a little bit wild, actually. If Cam wins and picks MJ, yeah, that would be wild. Ori, would you make other Big Brother videos other than the updates, like weekly player rankings? That's a good idea. And Stan, I think actually there's a couple of people that I'd like to have some conversations with. Stan would definitely be one of them. Maybe we could talk about some projects that could go in the works for some other video ideas. But yeah, definitely. So one of the things somebody was asking for last night was like a winners rankings, which, by the way, guys, I was just mentioning Stim there. Reason why I mentioned Stim, go check out his channel. He has a couple of amazing videos on Big Brothers. He actually has one on Taylor, which I very much agree with for the most part. There's some things that, you know, I don't maybe agree fully, but no lies detected when he's right. Like it's like he's not lying, right? Like I see it maybe a different way, but he's not lying. But for the most part, maybe like 90% I agree with that video. He's got another great video about Ty as well, from Big Brother Canada. So go check out Stin. Stin's awesome. But yeah, definitely there's some ideas I have. The one thing is just time. It takes so long to edit those videos. Even like a 15-minute video, like the ideas that I want to do, that like to really do them right, sometimes take 10 hours to edit, get clips for right, get everything done for it. So it takes just a lot of time. So hopefully maybe I can find some more time to maybe dedicate to that and get some situations going. Maybe potentially we can have some conversations with some people and maybe get some other cooks in the kitchen here, right? Maybe get some things brewing. But I have lots of ideas. It's just, man, it's so much time to put into it. Let's see where we at. She said she would go off. Thanks, America. Ooh, that was the super chat from earlier. Let me give that a heart. Your brother will host tonight. Why do people think I'm related to Derrick? What is this Derrick thing? I think it's a compliment. Maybe it's not. Do I look like a cop? Like, is that the I feel like I look like a cop's brother who's a little bit of a black sheep, right? Like he's like, you know, he's the brother like who got in a little bit of trouble, where like the Derrick's the one who was like, you know, staying out of trouble, becomes a cop. You know, the other brother, he's like a, you know, bank robber or something like that, right? Like, This sounds like a movie idea. Derrick, hit me up. I got a movie idea. I know Cody knows some producers. We can do like a Hallmark Christmas movie. Guys, picture this. Cody, get in touch with the Hallmark people. I know you know them. Hallmark Christmas movie. Derrick and me, we're brothers. He's a cop. I'm a criminal. It's Christmas. It's a whole thing. I think this is gonna be big bucks, people. I'm telling you. We can do it. Where were we? I believe MJ and Chelsea would take each other fair and square. It'd be kind of nice to see that. Or I have to disagree. Taylor is well-spoken for sure, but she makes everything about her and her game when she interviews or commentates. And again, that's kind of part of a thing, right? I think she has a little bit of a inflated idea of what her game was and how well she played, not only by, just how things went with, her victory, but also from some people in the fandom, right? I think they really kind of inflate and overrate how well she actually did. So I think that kind of goes to her head a little bit. Like if you go watch Reindeer Games, she was very kind of, I would say a little bit overstating her prowess in the game. But again, I agree. Very well spoken. Was going to be a fantastic job hosting it, but I don't know if she necessarily fits who I would want to be leading the jury as they make the decision for the game. Again, doesn't really necessarily matter who the host is. Probably not, right? But I'd rather somebody who could push some conversations if they gave them the liberty to do so. But again, I don't even know if they really actually give them that liberty. Let's see. Taylor's going to be the new host for the future from the way I've heard it on Twitter. Again, though, I don't know if we can necessarily trust that, right? If that's what people are saying on Twitter, I'm sure they're like, yes, this is going to be the great. But until it actually is for sure thing that she hosts it next year, then we could say, all right, she's the new host. But I would like to see a new winner each season. And it actually kind of works out pretty well where it's like a couple seasons removed from when you won, right? Like she didn't host the next season. She hosted 2 seasons later. And then Jag would host 2 seasons later. And then the BB26 winner would host 2 seasons later. And it really works out because one of the other things they've started to do here is interview the winner from the previous season on the Final 4 episode. So it kind of would actually match up really well. You would keep these winners in people's heads, potentially for an all-winner season maybe down the line. Hear what I'm saying? Do you see what Ori's cooking? Do you smell what the Ori is cooking right now? All winter season, keep them in mind, right? Have them eat, come in like a couple of seasons later. Keep these, big time names, in people's thoughts. Break that on out. Tell me that isn't great. Tell me I didn't just come up with the perfect situation for them to do. Is Big Brother going to do that? Probably not. But I think it would be fantastic. Let's see here. Where were we? Oh God, I'm way behind in this chat, ain't I? I'm so far behind. I would love to hear what Chelsea is going to say to Cam to pump him up about to win the next game, which is also going to be interesting too. Does MJ get in her own head? Does Cam also get in his own head? If both of them are in their own head, is it going to be 2 terrible performances? Are they both going to be at peak performance? It's going to be an interesting showdown either way. In watching the exit interviews, part of your notes when you make these live feed updates, I'll watch the exit interviews maybe a little bit, right? Like I used to check them out, but for the most part, they're always kind of the same questions. So it's I don't even necessarily care that much about what they're saying in their exit interviews anymore. Cause like I said, it's really the bare minimum. I think this year I've watched more of them than I normally do. Cause there's really only 2 that they're doing. They're doing it with Sharon and they're doing them with that Mike Bloom, which I actually think is the best thing, right? Don't do too many of the jury exit interviews because I think any too many questions can taint the result, right? You want to be very vague with what you're doing and very limited with it. So I think the way they're doing it right now is actually pretty good. Taylor is going to eat as the host. It's time to start letting the newer players host, and Taylor has got the whole house to go from. And I think that again, right? I think I agree where it is time to let you know, some of the past players, especially some of these newer generation players, kind of keep coming back, keep them fresh, keep them in people's minds for potentially a really cool, fun all-star season done well. Maybe an all-winner season, and I think that would be really interesting. Let's see where we at here. Secret attack. Oh, I missed something. Been tapping into these while I'm at work. Shout out to these updates. Awesome to hear that you're keeping up with everything while you're at work. Don't get into trouble. Actually, we did this before. Actually, listen, Silent Podcast, take me to your boss right now. We're gonna go into your boss's office. Listen, Silent here, fantastic worker. You should give them a promotion. Your company would fall apart without Silent. You give him a raise right now, or he's walking, buddy. Actually, maybe he won't walk. I'm not threatening to lose his. Actually, take that part back, but you should give him a raise. Silent, go clip that. Show that to your boss. Show that to your boss. Don't get fired, though. Please don't get fired. Let's see. Because Chelsea was a college scholarship basketball player for a really good college. Was she really? I actually didn't know that. Actually, I think I did know she was an athlete, but I didn't know she was a basketball player for like a really good college. But that's cool. The trio plus Chelsea would vote Cam if MJ drops Chelsea. Potentially. I think MJ and Chelsea are locked in to take each other. It would be fair and square. Uri's going up in the BB world. If I was going to vote, I'd vote for the youngest Seti. Cedric was tragically taken too early. I think Cedric had lots of great potential as a player and got taken out because of an ally putting him up, and he agreed to go up as a pawn. Terrible mistake to agree to go up as a pawn. Terrible mistake from Quinn for putting him up in the first place. But he was tragically taken away from us. I'd love to see Cedric get a second chance at the game at some point. Or even, you know what? I think Cedric would be a great candidate for something like the challenge as well. I think Tucker is, you got to get Tucker on the challenge, period, the end. But I think Cedric deserves a shot at something else. I miss Quinn, so I vote, it'll probably be him. Quinn? Here's the thing about Quinn. Quinn brought just that chaotic nature where he was doing things very messily. And he was always kind of, messing things up. He couldn't keep his mouth shut. But I will give he was very entertaining a lot through the season. Cedric was my fave easily. Tucker already won 20K. Give it to Quinn or Leah. I'm voting for Cedric. He played professionally in Canada briefly. Did he really play in the CFL? Did he? I didn't know that. I think he played pro in Canada. I'll have to look up his stats for the CFL. We'll see. The remaining players were all D1 athletes. That's pretty cool. Are America and Fort still together, Corey? I believe, yes, they are still together. Mackenzie for president. Cam's Steve Moses era is coming. Maybe he cuts her. Maybe he cuts Chelsea. Cam did have several surgeries. That is a thing, right? Apparently he had like a bad back injury, so that kind of limits him a lot. And he was favoring it a lot during or after the competition last night on the feeds. MJ, Chelsea, Leah, or Quinn for AFP. Not a bad foursome there. I think they could all have opportunities at it. I think Tucker though is such a massive lead. The big thing though is Tucker left fairly early, right? He's a pre-jury boot, and that could go against him, but I think his impact was so big that he has a really good shot at it, because he wasn't just loved by a lot of the hardcore fans. Like, I think the casuals loved him. I think people who really just kind of gravitated to the way he played. He brought an excitement. So I think he's got the biggest shot at it. But definitely there's others that could sneak in there and potentially do it, especially the people who made it farther in the game. Good morning, Shelby. How are you? Wow, they embellished his career. So there's 3 parts to the final HoH. Yes. So if you're new to how the final 3 HoH works, it's a 3-part competition. So part 1, usually an endurance competition. That's what it was this season. They kind of had to hold on to like a bar, whoever held on the longest. Think kind of like the wall competition from earlier, just with a bar up top. Whoever wins part 1 goes automatically to part 3. So Chelsea will compete on finale night against the winner of MJ and Cam when they play in part 2. They will compete on who gets to face Chelsea in part 3. And then whoever wins part 3, they get to decide who to take to the final 2 with them and sit next to them in that chair. So Chelsea, she is not like the HoH solely right now. She is not won anything other than just part 1, where she gets to go to part 3. Made another live stream. Love it, Brandon. But then you have to watch out for Twitter if you don't have live feeds. I like those for AFP. Did they show some of the comp of the feeds? No. I wish they would have, and they have done that before where they've shown peaks. But yeah, no, we didn't get to watch it. I would vote Quinn. Cam was a Pee-wee football player. They get to take rests. Norma, that's a good one. Ori, have you heard the new KSI song? I've heard of it. I get updates. My brother gives me updates. He keeps me in the loop. When is the episode tonight? I think maybe 8. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it's around 8 o'clock tonight. If they think about it, they would not vote for Chelsea if they knew she had a major hand in getting them evicted. That could be true, but I think all of them actually kind of are aware of it in a way. But they respect that move, right? There's some people that respect when you get taken out, and there's others that end up a little bit hurt by that. I'm kind of one that, like, if you can take me out, right, I kind of do respect it a little bit. I don't think the trio will all vote for the same person if Chelsea and MJ make it to the end. I think Rubina will vote for MJ and Chemo and T-Core will vote for Chelsea. There's potential. There's absolutely potential for that. 100%. I don't think we can guarantee that Chelsea would not vote for MJ over Chelsea. That's just where I kind of see it at. But again, there's always room to change that. I just kind of lumped them in because they are really good friends. And I feel like they would probably end up voting the same way as a trio. But there's potential that they wouldn't. It was funny how they panned the camera to Quinn when Leah's comic said he was a chubby chaser. That was funny. He was like, "Oh man, where was some of that chicken I was grilling earlier, man?" I gotta get some more of that chicken she was making. That's why she was making it. She's trying to fatten me up. I think Quinn and Leah actually have a shot too for America's favorite player. Quinn could, but we also remember Quinn was voted as somebody to be nominated by America, so maybe not 100%. But Leah potentially, sure. Okay, guys, I don't believe for 1 second Chelsea would take MJ to final 2. She's a snake. I don't even know necessarily if it's a snake. She's been loyal to Cam longer than she has been to MJ. Like, if we're going off of who she was loyal to first, she was loyal to Cam first. So really, if you go by that, cutting Cam would be the snake move. But she has been, telling MJ what she needs to hear, that she's going to, go to the end with her. And, you have to take that into account as well. But I don't think either way, I don't think it's a bad thing. Because in Big Brother, you want to be the snake. You don't want to be the one bitten by the snake. You want to be the snake, or you want to be the one cutting the head off the snake. Don't be the one bitten. Be the snake. That's what you want to be. Ori, would you take Rudolph games or a 30-day type season? I would take a 30-day type season over Rudolph games every day of the week. I think that would be more interesting. I don't mind that we at least got something last season. I don't know if they're going to do another reindeer games during the winter, but I don't see why they wouldn't. It's cheap. It's easy to do. It gives you content during the winter, especially when shows are on hiatus and things like that. So why wouldn't you? Add me. I want ice cream. Can't wait to see Derrick tonight. Cam was D1 player and the player professionally in Canada. I don't think he should win. Chelsea is tied for most HOHs. Chelsea's done great. Ori, we want a room tour. Your room looks cool. It is pretty cool back there, huh? I got some cool pictures. Those up there, if you guys have never heard of what are they called now? I can't think of the name. But they're posters, but they're made of metal, and they're held up there with like a magnet that sticks to the wall. So I can peel that magnet off. I can change them, move them around. They're really easy to take up and down. Again, they're metal, so they don't like rip or fall apart. They stay like perfect. Display is what they're called. And they're fantastic. I love those. Yeah, I got some cool lights and stuff, you know. People trip me out saying if someone doesn't take a certain player, they're a snake. No, they're playing to win $750K. Monica, I am with you. I like bearded guys. I'm a bearded one too. Gotta love the beards. Gotta love them. Jen, what's up, Jen? You do look like the brother of a cop who's always saving you from yourself, pulling strings for you. 100%, right? You know, little bit of breaks here and there. You know, I get pulled over. It's like, do you know my brother? Let's see. I lost where I was. Here I am. I heard it hard to wrap my head around why MJ giving away $750K. She has so many chances. Guess she's wealthy already. I think what it is, honestly, is you got to give credit to Chelsea. Chelsea did such a good job of getting to MJ at the most critical time, when not only was MJ just out there for the taking, for somebody to give her a home. I say this all the time. When someone's on the outs, when somebody doesn't feel like they're a part of a group, when somebody feels like they're alone in the game, give them a home. They will be so loyal to you till the bitter end, because you were the one who gave them the opportunity to feel like they belonged. You were the one to bring them to your side. And Chelsea did it at the perfect time for MJ and for herself, because it was just after she lost Brooklyn. And I think it was even just during the Brooklyn week when she had already lost Cedric, and she started to feel that heat again. She felt very comfortable in the game. She saw that MJ was a number, that MJ was somebody that she could pull over to her side and use to get further in the game. And she did a great job with it. And that later gave her the leverage to control where MJ would make moves in the game when she would win HoHs. So I think for that, I don't necessarily even put it on like MJ throwing it away. I think I put that to credit to Chelsea. Cody said on the winner's circle, it was going to be him, the host. I wonder what happened. I've heard that he was just kind of trolling. Maybe kind of similar to how I trolled with one of my update videos. Oh man, this was funny. So if you guys watched the update video the other day where Chelsea cheated, she did. I just didn't say which game. It was in War. Listen. Sometimes you gotta play the YouTube game, and you gotta get a little bit of trolling in there. Sometimes it's really slow. So I think he was just doing a little bit of trolling on that end. I wasn't really a fan of Taylor's gameplay, but I do agree with her takes on this season. Like I said, I think she does a great job of just being a good communicator, and I think she'll do a great job as a host. Just don't know if necessarily I would choose her first, right? Like I said, I'm not a big fan of her gameplay, but I like her story overall, and I was always a fan of her even before the season. Like I said last night on the live feed, I have a TikTok that I made when the cast was revealed, and the person who I probably loved the most out of that cast was Taylor. And I was very pro Taylor. I loved how she was talking about being very cutthroat and doing what she needed to end up winning. And she was somebody I was looking at very strongly going into the game. I was a fan of her kind of the whole time. But you got to be honest, and you know there were a lot of mistakes. Her HoH reign, oh man, that was messy. That was a little bit of a disaster. She barely got away with that one. Let's see here. Will we get to see any of the HoH comp on tonight's episode? So yes, the beginning of part 1 will be on tonight's episode. They'll kind of get them started. It'll roll to credits, and then we'll see it all take place on Sunday's finale. This is going to be good. Taylor is so biased for this position. It should have been Derrick. I don't know if Derrick necessarily would have been a great choice. I think Derrick's a better choice resume wise, but I think Taylor's a better choice for like entertainment host wise, right? If you could combine the two of them together, that'd be a great host. That'd be the perfect host. I'm glad Cody isn't host, and I think Cody would have done a good job. I think Cody's somebody who could have done well with it. People don't have the gift of gab or interviewing, and that's the thing too, right? You need somebody who's going to bring that value to the table, and Taylor does for sure. Cam is the one I would like to see win, and that's doubtful. So disappointing with this ending. I'll be honest. I think Cam's the third on my tier of who could potentially win. Chelsea's number one, MJ's number two, and then Cam's probably a far third behind. But I'd be very happy with the winner being either MJ or Chelsea, because I do actually believe they're probably the best players of this season. There's some other good ones, right? But they are, I think, the two that have done it the best in different ways as well. Let's see here. Cam is the only one. Oh, that was the one I just read. No, she played volleyball for Houston, then transferred to Texas A&M, but just for the academics. Cedric got taken out because Quinn is actually terrible BB player, as much as I love him. Chelsea being a former basketball player is surprising. Well, I think we might have been corrected. It might be volleyball. But either way, yeah, I knew she was an athlete, just didn't know exactly what she did. I think MJ as well, right? She did something, right? Don't know exactly what she did. It could how tall she is, very easily could be basketball or volleyball. I know her dad played baseball, so maybe softball even. I'd rather Cody than Taylor. Yes, the awesome updates, Ori. I'm glad you guys enjoy them too. It's one of those things where we talked about it a little bit on last night's stream as well. I know sometimes people are saying in the comments where it's, one of the best parts to start their morning is watching the updates. And for me, making the updates is one of the best parts of my day as well. These live streams are always a lot of fun hanging out with you guys too. It really amplifies my love of Big Brother. It's kind of rejuvenated it a bit. And I really can't say how much I love all of you guys for all the support you guys give me, but I also love the idea that, sometimes this can be even a distraction when things are down, or even just to kind of start your day and give it that jump it needs, and that's always awesome to hear. Challenge USA is still supposed to be coming back too, so I'm sure we'll get lots of people from this season on there. Dreadful, is it? Are they going to bring that back? I was kind of surprised there wasn't anyone this season. And when there wasn't one this season, I thought maybe they kind of gave up on that, or at least they're giving it maybe a couple of seasons till they bring it back, and they're going to do it every so often. They did have the summit already kind of lined up, so maybe that's why they already had too much. But yeah, I guess that would be interesting to see what would happen there. Either way, I think there's definitely some people on this season. Like I said, Tucker, Cedric, get them on there. Cam could be a good option. MJ could be a good option. Who else would be interesting? Quinn would kind of be kind of fun. Quinn was sneaky good at like competitions, right? Like he didn't do too bad at comps. He's actually like sneaky ripped too. Like he's very lean and got some muscle on him, right? He was a runner, I think he said before. So Quinn would actually be kind of interesting on the show too, right? So there's a couple of Matt. You could throw Matt on there, why not, right? Joseph, get Joseph in a tent. What show can we get Joseph on that's in a tent? The only reason Cam aligned with Chelsea is because Takimo took out Cedric. Imagine him and Chelsea running the house. Ooh, right? Right? Could have been cool. Taylor is a professional. She already works as an interviewer for E. And people she likes, just like she has people she likes, like Dr. Will did. That doesn't mean you will be biased. And yeah, like, here's the thing. Again, I totally agree. 100% professional. I think the way I would say is only that she would be biased is I think her view on the game and more particularly her game and what makes a good game is just a little bit skewed. One, from the results she got, but two, also a little bit from the fandom, from pumping her up a little bit. So I think that's a little bit of a thing, right? But yeah, I don't think, you could say anybody wouldn't be somewhat biased. Everybody's a little bit biased or something. Like, if we're being honest, everybody got a little bit of bias. But yeah, no, I think, again, I 100% believe she will do a great job as the host. But I don't know if necessarily she has, the qualifications I would necessarily want for the host. But I'm sure she's going to do a great job. Who do we have coming on in there? John, coming on in with a super chat, said it was MJ that played volleyball at Houston, then transferred to Texas A&M for academics. I should have used her name. Oh, so it was MJ. MJ played volleyball for Houston and then transferred to Texas A&M. Okay. Oh, well, thank you for clearing that out, John. I appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. The only thing, where were we? Taylor's professional. I would love to see Cedric, would be great on the challenge. Why is Corey going to The Bachelor if he's still with America? I don't think Corey's going with The Bachelor. I know America does a Bachelor podcast. She's doing a Bachelor podcast. I hear she's doing great with it too. Props to her. Taylor is a overrated mess. Why did he come on the show if he was hurting? That's true too, right? Like, sometimes, again, like, people don't 100% know what they're getting themselves into sometimes. But that is a thing, right? If you're hurting, it can really hurt you in the game. And if you're not 100% physically, you need it, right? Especially in these moments. These late end game competitions are so important. I love seeing Cedric play, Chelsea play, because she is hungry for the win. We will see her work hard for the win by preparing for it. She knew what she needed to do and pulled it out. I agree. She's been playing great. She's hungry for it. She's already working on her speech. Like, she kind of knows she's put in the work to get to this position where she feels like she's going to the final two almost no matter what, but she also wants to win. The best part of the past 24 hours is shrinking the jury. Everybody shouldn't make it. I agree. Oh, best part of post 24 is shrinking the jury. I agree on that as well. A 7-person jury, I think, is kind of ideal. When you have like almost more people in the jury than in the pre-jury, it's like, oh, what are we doing here? It shouldn't be everybody, right? It should feel like a feat for making it to jury. No way MJ gets MVP. I think she's at the bottom of the list. I think MJ has a lot of appeal for especially a lot of the casual fans. Like, if you're watching the feeds and you're really tuned in, you kind of understand how Chelsea has controlled everything. But what I always try and do is I try and step back, because the big majority of the vote is coming from the casual fans. And I try and step back and take it from their perspective. And if you're just an episode watcher, MJ's won a lot of competitions. I mean, she's focused heavily on a lot of decisions, especially here late when people are getting ready to vote. Who are they seeing some of the most of? It's MJ. And I think she's got, she's very likable. She's done a lot in the game. She's made an impact. So I think she's got a chance, 100%. Do I think she's going to win it? Probably not, but I don't think you can count her out. Tucker is also very active on socials, so he hasn't gone away. That's true, but like I was just mentioning, the casual vote is really the one that matters, right? As much as people on Twitter or YouTube or Reddit or wherever you talk about Big Brother, Facebook, I know there's big communities all over the internet. It is 1% of 1% of the overall viewers of Big Brother. A majority of the Big Brother viewers, they watch on TV, they watch the episodes, maybe they check out feeds, they don't listen to podcasts, they don't comment on social media, they just watch the episodes. And that's it. Maybe they check out some clips on Twitter or something like that, but they're not like super into the nitty gritty on everything that's going on. those are the ones that control the vote, right? It's the people who normally watch, Jag and then Big Brother, right? Like they're watching the reruns of Jag and then they're tuning into Big Brother. They're watching the reruns of The Big Bang Theory, then they're tuning into How I Met Your Mother or to Big Brother, right? Those are the people that really control the vote. And I try and kind of step back a little bit to think about how they would view the game. And I still think Tucker probably had the biggest impact. I think a lot of them loved him as well. I think MJ would have a shot. I think Chelsea would have a shot. Angela definitely has a shot. And those would be who I would say. But again, you never know sometimes. You never know. Where we at here? Hey, Ori, did you know Chelsea is tied for most HOHs this season? I did. She's done a great job competition-wise, right? It's not just her social game that got her to the end. She won competitions at very critical times and did a really good job with them. I don't know if I necessarily loved when she won HOH week 2, because I think in the end it ended up putting a target on her and kind of exposing some of the alliances and things that were happening in the game where everyone else would have taken the same shot she would have, and she would have kept herself kind of out of the spotlight in the shadows a little bit more. But she did a great job coming back from that afterwards and kind of pulling herself out of that, because I think she got a little bit comfortable there after the first few weeks because she was doing so well. And then the little bit of the stumble, losing Cedric and losing Brooklyn, I think really kind of snapped her back into the game, and she really stepped it back up again. Cody said he was doing the jury roundtable. I'd rather he do it. I don't think Cody would have done a bad job. Hello, just came in to see who won HOH. I hope Cam wins the face-off of MJ and himself. I'm actually a fan of his. He's had a bad rap all season, and it's been the butt of a joke. I will say that too. Like, he's also been like haha laugh at him funny. He's also been like just generally funny. So there's other ways they could have shown that off. Like last night we got like the sandwich bit and stuff like that, and that was a little much. But no, I agree, right? I think he's been a little bit of butt of a joke. I think he's very smart about the game, right? When he talks about it, I do oftentimes go, you know what? I think he gets it. He's just never been in a position to win. He kind of falls short on that. And I think that in itself is maybe a little bit, right? You can poke a little fun, right, at him always falling short, right? Always the bridesmaids, never the bride. Overall, though, I do like him, right? I think he had like really good insights on the game a lot of time. His social game was really good. Even when he wasn't winning the competitions, he always kind of did find himself in a good position where he wasn't looked at as a target. Kind of helped that he wasn't winning anything, but he always did find himself in really good positions socially. I don't think he's terrible, but I just don't think he did enough to win. Totally agree. That was a reply to Michelle. I missed, what was that? How are you going to do the live feed updates for part 2 and 3? So part 3 is going to be on finale. We'll be live watching the episode right here on the channel. So we'll see part 3 on the episode. That doesn't happen until the actual live episode takes place. Part 2 will be today. We might get feeds afterwards. We might not. They might shut them down some point today. They might shut them down tomorrow. Either way, we'll get some kind of an update tomorrow, maybe on Sunday as well, if there's feeds. But part 2, if we do know about it, you will find out about it here on this channel. Who won part 1? Chelsea. Mad because they taken out. That's the game, is it? That is the game. But also making sure the people leave not mad at you is part of the game as well. Managing that jury as they leave is important. We can only hope Chelsea doesn't take MJ and does take Cam. It's life-changing money. Be the snake. I'm with you. I'm with you, Dreadful. Well said, Ori. I don't know what that was say specifically to, but I'm going to take that as a cosign on everything I say ever. So just so you know, everything I said, Latina also agrees. Cam played in the CFL for the Edmonton Elks. It's a cool name. I have to check out his stats. I'll have to see how he did. I also I want to take this time just to do a little bit of self-promotion. First off, if you're new here watching this stream, hit that subscribe button. If you're having a good time during this live stream, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. But also check out my other socials, more specifically Kick and Twitch. I'm going to be streaming a lot more on them. Now that the season's over, I'm going to have a lot more time that I can use to do a little bit of streaming over on there. I don't have to focus on the episodes and the feeds and all that update stuff. So I can do a little bit more stuff, and I want to stream on Twitch and Kick. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. A couple of different reality shows that I want to catch up on that we can actually like watch, like fully, like I can show you a good bit of it because they're a little bit lower profile. Not that many people care. And I think we can have a really good time over there. But also, I want to do a couple gaming stuff. One of the things, and hear me out, right? A Madden franchise. You guys pick what team I have to do. Please don't pick the Cowboys. I'm begging you guys, do not make me play as the Cowboys. Please. I might just get myself fired on purpose. But what? Because here's the thing. What if we make Cam and I have to use Cam as wide receiver? What if we get him drafted to my team? Hear me out. There could be some fun there happening. So if you're interested on how that story will end up playing out, maybe go check out Twitch and Kick. You can find links in the description. Also, they pop up in the chat. If you do exclamation socials, they should come up. But I don't know. I think we could have some fun with that stuff. I think it could be a good time. Thank you. This is a snake game. It's not preschool. Learning to share and make friends. That I love it. I'm with you. Let's see. Where were we? I totally. It did that thing where it jumps. And I completely lost my spot. So what I'm going to do, I know I'm far behind in the chat as well. Let's just jump down to the bottom a little bit. We'll catch up a little bit here. We'll jump down. Let's see. Let's check out Xander. Do you have any idea how many people commit... What? Commit murder for the 10th of the prize money on offer? Chelsea is mildly villainous. I don't know what happened earlier. I don't know what happened earlier for Xander to start talking about murder statistics. But I agree. I love your channel and you have a wonderful personality. Jen loves doobies. Jen loves doobies. That is a fantastic name, by the way. And thank you for the compliment. I'm sorry, but I'm so glad that they didn't get Nicole for the round table. She's an awesome player, but that voice, it is piercing, that voice. Lear said herself she would never do what MJ did to her, which was put her on the block while evicting her, kind of. She did, but also I do think as of right now, I think Leah respects MJ's game the most on winning the competitions and even kind of taking her out. And I think she feels like if they don't take out MJ, they're handing her a victory. So I feel like that's where Leah ends up leaning, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be what would happen. But that's how her feeling on it as of right now, I think. Chelsea is no villain. I don't think necessarily she's a villain. I don't think that she's a villain at all. I did actually say at one point earlier in the season, I wanted her like villainous side to come out a little bit, right? Because we see what she does in her little like cam chats that she has, right? Where she's talking to us and she's going in on some, like she went in on Cam a couple of times about his crusty socks and all. Like bring that on out, right? When we were having all the chaos with Angela and Tucker, I was always kind of hoping that maybe Chelsea would get into a little bit of an argument. But here's the thing, Chelsea's smarter than that, right? She knows to stay out of that situation. I wouldn't say she's a villain, right? She could be a villain in like an antagonist, right? If you're maybe rooting for somebody else in the game or something like that, you could see it as that, right? Where she's a really good strategic mind who is kind of running the game sneakily, and you could maybe say that, but like evil or anything, like, nah, she's just playing the game. But also, you gotta lie, you gotta cheat, you gotta steal in this game. You gotta pull the Eddie Guerrero if you want to pull off that victory. We're playing for 750K. Right? Like they were like, I forget who it was now. Somebody said earlier, right? Like, this isn't preschool. This isn't learn to share, make friends. This is Big Brother. Let's see. We will see. Chelsea isn't a villain. She's just manipulating someone who would listen to whatever someone says. And right, like that is like literally BB 101. Be a good manipulator, right? Get people to do what you want and what's good for you and make them think it's good for them. That's the idea of the game, exactly. Chelsea wins against Cam but loses to MJ. Really? You think so, Deborah? There's potential, but I think if Chelsea is in the end, I think she wins. Chelsea wins either way. I'm kind of with you, Amazing Russ. I think she wins either way, but I think there's a conversation to have, right? I don't think it's straight up. I think you can have a conversation about it. Don't hate on the Cowboys. Listen. It's back there. Don't make me. I don't want to have to hate on the Cowboys. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's oil and water, right? We just don't mix. In final two, Chelsea and MJ. Angela T-Court Quinn, probably all voting for Chelsea. Well, actually, Angela seems very anti-Chelsea. Angela seemed very bitter. But that also could just be her saying that, and actually she kind of respects it if she gets to the end. I'm not sure. Chelsea read the room and understand who she was playing with. Scooped up MJ when no one else would. Even Leah never solidified anything with her. Chelsea worked. Lisa, I'm with you. 100% with you. They deserve to be side by side, and she kept the ladies off of her man. Does TK know that Chelsea did vote her out? I would assume now she would, that Chemo's there to kind of fill her in on everything. But when she left, I think she assumed that Chelsea was the one to keep her. Chelsea can't win if she's not in final two. That's true. If I won, I would give MJ and Cam $25K. Technically against the rules. Don't ever say it in the house, but you want to, get them a nice little gift. Nothing wrong with that postseason. What's Kick? Kick's just a live streaming site. It's very similar to Twitch, and very similar to what we do here, where I'm on screen, we're chatting, we're having a good time. There's a chat that you guys can all chat along with and watch. It's just a different platform. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch, but it's very similar to that, where usually people are gaming or chatting or doing whatever. The one thing is with YouTube, like YouTube's copyright system is so strict. Even watching other YouTube videos will give sometimes like strikes where they're like, hey, listen, we don't like that you did that on the stream. Whereas Twitch and Kick, it's a little bit better. You can watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. If they do copyright everything, usually it's just kind of muted. And for the most part, like it kind of stays lower. Then for things like TV shows, that's even more strict. Technically, you're not supposed to do it, right? But like there's some stuff maybe we can get away with over there. It's more about like if the people who care, if they show up and see it, they're gonna be like, hey, turn that off, and then we turn it off. So it's a little bit more lenient over there, where they'll slap me on the wrist instead of being like put me in jail, right? Like over on Kick, Derrick talks to the guys for me. Derrick takes care of his black sheep brother, who's always getting into trouble over on Kick, and he pays them off. There's a link in the chat. Every so often you'll see Nightbot or Botrix posting it. Also, if you do exclamation socials, it pops up. And then there's links in the description if you want to give that a follow over there. For Kick or Twitch, it's one of those things where I'll probably stream a lot on both of them. Sometimes more a little bit on Kick, just because, again, they're a little bit more lenient on things. So definitely follow what you want. Let's see here. Where were we? What's Kick? It's Doobie's Duberman pitches. No worries, you're not the first to say it like that, though. I love it anyway, though. I love it, Jen. What's that? We have Anita Starr. Sorry, it took me a second there, and I'm probably butchering it still. I butcher names all the time. Thank you for coming on in with the super chat. I appreciate it. I don't think there was a message with it or anything, but I appreciate the support. And that's a thing you guys can do. It's never required, but always appreciated when you do stuff like that. You can do super chats. You can join the channel. Listen, I'll be honest. There's not that many great perks for joining the channel. You get things like emotes that you can use in the chat. Your name will be green, so it's kind of highlighted for me. So it does stand out a little bit more in chat as well. You can do things like the Ori fun. There's even things like Throne. Actually, funny enough, I put this hoodie on today. It's getting to be hoodie weather, and I'm loving it. But this hoodie actually came from Throne. It was somebody who I'm pretty sure they wanted to stay anonymous at the time, but it was somebody, a viewer, right? Somebody just like you who went to Throne, and on there you can get gifts that kind of are on there and get sent to me. So it's kind of cool. Never required. Don't ever think that anybody has to do it. It's always appreciated. Never required. And I'm always incredibly humbled when it happens. Honestly, if you want to support the channel, the easiest thing to do, just hitting that like button. If you're watching the video and you hit that like button, it helps more than you could possibly imagine. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Not gonna happen, Shay. I missed that. I love Tucker. This is fun. I'm glad you're having fun, Survivor. How do you vote for AFP? It's on the BB website. I think it's like cbs.com/bigbrother/vote, maybe something like that. But it's on the Big Brother CBS website. Morning, Ori. I think Chelsea sits next to Cam. Cam wins. That was one angry, disgusted jury last night. They did not like that it's the same two winning everything. I think they don't like that it's the same two winning everything, but also at the same time, I think they respect that they're running the game as well, right? But I don't know. I don't think Cam would, but never count it out. Never count it out. This is so good. Or he couldn't even say that Nicole was an awesome player without his voice cracking. If you're saying that his socks smell evil, then I'm definitely... Listen, his socks were a little crusty. I swear there isn't much logic to the fans who think X person will vote for Y. And honestly, what goes to... There really, it's hard to ever tell, right? Like you're kind of on there sometimes isn't a logic because you have to kind of like get inside somebody's head. And yeah, we get little sound bites here and there, but they're kind of chosen for us to hear to lead us different ways. You never know until they cast the vote. So yeah, it's fun to speculate, but you never want to say you're 100% sure. You're right about that, Ori. It's for 750K, right? You gotta try. You gotta give it all. You gotta give it your all. Give it 110%. Never give up. Always just keep on trying. Let's see here. Where were we? I'm a Deb as well. Awesome. Who had an alliance first? Chelsea and Cam or Chelsea and Cam? They were definitely aligned first. Production made it seem like the jury was given MJ hero vibes, like an underdog. Who knows what would happen? The jury questions and speeches might actually sway people this season. And that's true, right? Most of the time, right? Jury speeches and the questions don't necessarily matter too much. They usually have their decision made already going into it. But every so often, it does somewhat have a little bit of a say in it. It could potentially sway, or somebody maybe who's on the edge might, decide at that moment who they're voting for. And you're right? They did kind of give her a little bit of hero vibes. Quinn and Leah definitely were giving her props. It seemed like Angela was a little bit more pro MJ, definitely kind of anti Chelsea more than pro MJ, but either way. And yeah, right. I think a lot of them, you could have a conversation. I do just still feel like Chelsea kind of has a bit of a lead. Chelsea and Cam, the real one anyway. Let's see. I'm gonna be so for real. I've been so busy that I genuinely had no idea there was an episode last night. Oh no. Well, Chelsea and MJ were talking when they use the veto on Angela again. But I'm not sure if they actually trusted each other in that point of the game. Yeah, so they've been working for a while, but 100% Chelsea and Cam, they were almost like day one with Cedric. It was like the three of them locked in very quickly in the game. Did anyone else besides me confuse you with one of the brothers from the OK Too Cruel reaction channel? I don't know them, but hopefully they're great. Maybe I should check them out. Maybe my long lost brothers on there. I kind of checked out this season anyway. There was a little bit of a lull in the past 2 weeks. There was still a little bit of fun stuff where it was chemo, then Rubina, then went back to Rubina there, and then ended up being chemo in the end. And then last week was really, really slow. It's why I mentioned earlier, I feel like they should figure out a way to kind of speed things up in the end game, kind of get things to move a little bit quicker, make it more of like a week from Final 5 to finale. And I think that would be a lot better. Now, join the channel. We have cookies. Let's see, where are we at here? Ori, are you single? Maybe. How do we find you on Kick? There's a link in the description of this video, of this stream. Also, if you type !socials in chat, it should pop up. It might be there in chat somewhere. You can find the link. But it's Ori Streams on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, kind of everywhere. Justice for Cam. I hope he beats MJ. Chelsea won part 1. It's MJ versus Cam. It's gonna be fun. Isn't there stats for that? Part 2 winner usually wins the whole thing. There probably is some stats for that, but I don't know them offhand. What that that ends up being. And I think it would almost be a little bit anecdotal, right? Like maybe if you win part 2, you also win part 3, if that matters and stuff like that. But it would be kind of interesting. I don't know if anybody has those stats, but I'm sure someone out there has. If Cam wins, he will most likely take out Chelsea, but they have been allies, so who knows if he will be loyal or if he will think about strategy. I'm with you, right? I think he knows Chelsea would be the best move for him to potentially win. He's talked about shocking the jury, but he said that to MJ when he needed MJ to keep him. And I don't know if he really believes in that or if he just knows that's what he needed to say to MJ. But either way, it would be an interesting decision if he has to make it. I liked Quinn. Team Chelsea. I hope she wins it all. If you want the best overall player to win, that is Chelsea. I'm not accusing Cam of anything related to socks. But he did ask Joseph and how Joseph got rid of the evidence. I missed last night's show. I'll watch on Paramount Plus when your live ends. You can check it out on there. Hopefully everything's good that you missed it. You just maybe forgot about it. I know there's a lot of people who, don't have power and things like that because of all the hurricanes and stuff. So big shout out to anybody who's affected by all that. Hopefully you're all safe and not dealing with too much damage. I know even after the storms are over, there's lots of recovery and kind of getting back to the norm can take a little bit there. So hopefully everybody's good there. Have a good one, Ori in chat. Gotta run. I'm so appreciative of the Friday morning lives. Thanks a million for your coverage and the giggles. Lisa, enjoy your day. Thanks for hanging out. I absolutely dislike Taylor. She's not a true winner. I think, she won. She's a true winner, but I do think, there's some question marks there. And is she a great, top tier winner? No, her great story, top tier story of a winner, right? From beginning to end. I love the journey that she took throughout the game. But strategic wise, not 100% there. She did have a decent social game though, but in the beginning, not a great social game to even be in the position where she needed to kind of build up other, allies and things like that. But yeah, she's going to do a great job, I think, as the host, right, in the presenter role of leading the conversation. I think she'll do great as that. But it is what it is. I think there's other options too. I still do like the idea of a new winner doing it every season and being that 2 season removed kind of thing where you have time to process even your own game a little bit. I think that would be kind of cool. I will miss Ori's updates. The updates are my breakfast companion. That's awesome. Let's see. If Cam has to decide to take Chelsea or MJ, that is a fun decision. That's a fun decision. MJ will not win. She screwed up weeks ago. How do you watch Traitors Canada? Traitors Canada has been awesome if you haven't been watching it. There's some ways, Julie. YouTube doesn't necessarily like me saying them here or giving links to them here. But maybe if you hit me on like Twitter or Discord, I can help you. Are you working for Derrick though? Listen, if you're working for Derrick or Kenney, you gotta tell me if you're working for Derrick or Kenney. You can't say you're not, and then if you are, that's called entrapment, and we don't allow that. You gotta tell me. But if you're not working for them, maybe I can help you out with a couple of ways. I love how Cam called MJ a comp beast when Chelsea won more HoH. Well, she won more HoH, but overall MJ has won more competitions. But I think you could say both of them have shown very good competition skills. I know I'm late, but Big Bang Theory is a great show. Binged watched it recently. Let's see. MJ won like 3 or 4 vetoes and 2 HoHs, or am I wrong? Chelsea's won like 4 HoHs, something like that. And MJ's also got the AI Arena wins, which debatable on how you can actually, really put them into perspective. Maybe kind of give them like half credit, right? So the one she won, but overall, it's not like it's like a runaway that MJ did that much better. But overall MJ has won more. I want to know how to watch House of Villains season 2. Where does it stream? It's on E. I'm not sure where it streams, but again, if you need some help, maybe if you're not working for Derrick or Kenney, maybe I can help you. I haven't actually watched it yet either. I think they did a 2-night premiere, but there's just been so much going on this week. I haven't gotten to it yet for many reasons. Let's sing the Jenki song. Nobody needs to hear me sing the Jenki song. Give me one. Some of Chelsea's play has made me not want her to win, but in the end, she played the best game. Julie, if you buy a VPN, you can watch it. Yes, I also can't recommend a VPN enough. I think a VPN is really just a great tool, especially in today's day of internet and streaming. For example, if you just have Netflix, having a VPN is just such a huge tool for that, because you can change your country to say that you're watching from a different country, and those different countries have access to different Netflix shows and movies. So if you want to get like the full benefits of your Netflix subscription, if you use VPN, it's fantastic. Plus, it lets you watch a lot of different shows on streaming. Her attitude after the season. Who was that? Put first episode on YouTube. Oh, is it on YouTube, John? That's fantastic. Hear that, everybody? House of Villains season 2, the first episode is on YouTube. That's cool to hear. I really loved season 1. I loved how it was like a little bit tongue in cheek, right? They didn't take themselves like too seriously. And they kind of called some people out. Like they called Omarosa out on so many things. Like she tried to pull like this whole thing where she got hurt and the doctor told her she couldn't compete. And then they bring the doctor on and he's sitting in like the DR chair. And he's like, I never said that. And also I'm not a doctor. And it was like, they didn't let her like pull any crap. And I thought it was a good time. So I'm excited for season 2. And there's a lot of great people on there. So Wes from The Challenge is on there. Mr. Spectacular, Jesse from BB is on there. And then also Richard Hatch from Survivor is on there. So it's a really kind of fun cast. And I definitely, I'm looking forward to checking that out as well. Mackenzie grew on me, but I want Chelsea to win. I think both of them are my top choices to win the game. I think they're great winners that can represent the season. I think both of them played great games in different ways and some in similar ways. I think Chelsea played a better one, but I agree. I would be happy with either one of them winning. Do you think if Rubina was out instead of Angela in the double eviction, it was it a good move or was it a bad move? And they should have taken out Rubina instead. I think for our entertainment, it was a bad move. For Chelsea, a good move. New York is back, yet she is wild. I did see a clip, and like there was somebody that like she has a past with, and one of the other people were like, "So, you guys ever hook up? Listen, my question is, have these tongues touched?" She was like, "No comment. I just got here." MJ's best game move was pushing Cam to be on her side with voting T-Core out. This was the only game move I saw her make. I agree on that, right? MJ being on the side of getting T-Core out and Cam being on that side as well were really good. I don't know if it necessarily you can really give all the credit to that to MJ, because I think Cam also, you have to give credit that he acknowledged that, hey, there's a chance that Chelsea will be more loyal to T-Core than she is to me. I can't have that. And I think T-Core is the best situation moving forward. Other than that, I think Chelsea's best game moves were all competition based, right? I think a lot of her big moves always had somebody maybe pulling the strings or didn't benefit her game that much. Like, for example, taking Leah out on her HoH, not great, right? Not a great game move for MJ, but a great move for Chelsea, who made MJ think it was a good move. Let's see, where were we? Omarosa tried the same thing on The Apprentice. I'll never forget that. I'm so sick of MJ checking herself in the mirrors. Literally thinking the same thing. Anita Starr. House of Villains is so good. Please do recaps. I watched it on Bravo. Wes from The Challenge and Jesse from BB. So that's another thing. I do think they actually did like a multi-channel kind of event, right? Like it was on E, it was on Bravo. I think it was on like the USA Network. So they were really trying to push it as like a big show. I wonder what would have happened if Tucker used the veto on himself instead of Angela, and what would have happened after that. There's a lot of really interesting what if scenarios, right? Like what if Tucker didn't say to T-Core that he was okay going up as a nominee, and what if she didn't put him up in the first place? What if Quinn didn't put up Cedric? What else? What if Quinn didn't put up Joseph? There's a lot of good really what if questions. Where were we? MJ is pretty though. She is. Did you ever apply to be on Big Brother? Maybe. I think here's the thing. I think they understand what would happen if I was on the show. And this is the deal. They know I would get in there, I'd steamroll the whole thing. It would be boring because you guys would all know that I was winning from week one, and it would be kind of pointless. Everybody would stop watching. I would end up winning, and it would just kind of be, fun for me, but not great entertainment. So they're just like, we can't let that happen. In reality, probably what happens, I'm probably first boot. Probably a huge bright burning star that gets taken out quickly. But speaking of, casting is open though. If you want to play on BB27, if you've always wanted to do it, get a video in there. Get your application in. You cannot be on the show if you don't put your name in the hat. I want to see people from this community on the show. I want to see you guys play the game so I can root you on from here. And if you do get on the show, make sure you give us a little tip so we know. Like let us know on the feed so that we can root for you, because I will be an Ori stan for any Oreos that are on the show. I don't care if you're terrible at the game. I will put you at the top of the leaderboards, because when you are an Oreo, we got a final two till the end. We are ride or dies. So hopefully we get to see some people on that show soon. I want to hear you guys on that show. I want to be able to cover you in my videos and all my updates. Get your applications in. I know we got some great people in here who know what to do when it comes to the game. So get on in there, and go in there and try. Look at Angela. Angela had the time of her life. She had so much fun playing that game. And what would have happened if she never applied? She never would be on the show. Go be the next Angela. Maybe not that much. Dial it, from 11 to like 8. Dial it back a couple of notches. Let's see here. Where are we at? I wonder if MJ looks into the mirror because she has trichotillomania. It may have to do with worrying about her hair with pulling it out. Just a guess. There's also, just a guess, a mirror everywhere you look. When you're in that house, you can't look anywhere but a mirror. That's kind of a thing. It's not like, there's some people when they walk past every mirror they walk past, they got to look in, right? And if there's one mirror in a store, they're going to find their way looking in that mirror, right? Here at there's mirrors everywhere. It's kind of unavoidable. Do you think there will be they will keep anything similar to the AI arena for next season? It's possible. They like to switch things up all the time, though, too. I think AI arena wasn't terrible. It brought some interesting dynamics to those early votes. But I do overall think maybe it overstayed its welcome a little bit. I don't know if I necessarily like the beginning of the game also being so comp heavy. I'm a big proponent of the beginning of the game should all be about your social play. The end of the game, starting around, final 7, is all about competitions when you win and winning the right ones, and it kind of flips on itself. So I don't know if they'll bring it back. I don't know if I necessarily want it back, but I do like when they switch things up and try things. Cat Dunn from BB21 is hosting a watch party here in Dallas. That sounds pretty cool. Need to be a U.S. citizen or I would apply. That is true. Bruno, what up, buddy? How are you doing? Listen, if you guys don't know Bruno up in chat right now, I cannot tell you how awesome he is. He's a former Big Brother player, 2-time player on Big Brother Canada. He's also got a great Kick and Twitch channel. Go check him out on Capone Gaming. He's fantastic. Bruno, how you doing, buddy? And also there's going to be some fun stuff happening on his Kick channel later tonight, on his Twitch channel later tonight. A little bit of an org going on. It's got a fun little twist to it as well. I think you guys would have a lot of fun checking it on out. Very true about looking into the mirror. It's just she did come out about the other day. So made me wonder. Or it would take 100 alliance, would make 100 alliances. Well, I'd have a lot of them. I was actually a finalist. But the Great Floods. And couldn't make it. That is a shame. But if you were a finalist already, that means they are going to remember you. Get your name back in that hat. Keep on trying. Don't give up. Especially if you were a finalist. You were this close. There's been many times. I think Quinn was a finalist for another season. I think I remember Turner saying before he got on, he was a finalist for the season before. So don't give up yet. House of Villains has a great cast this season. I agree. I'm looking forward to check it out. I might do it again. Definitely do it again, Fawn. We need you on there. Had a friend who had the trichotillomania and tried so hard to find ways to help her, and she had it pretty severe. That's a shame. Tori's laughing at something I said. I don't know what I said, but something. Just got on Who Won HoH. So not fully HoH, but part 1 of the 3-part HoH was won by Chelsea. MJ and Cam will face off today in part 2, and then the winner will play Chelsea in part 3 on finale night. Chelsea won part 1 today. Cam versus MJ in part 2. Did you say who won part 1? Yes, it was Chelsea. Chelsea won part 1. Good job from her. It was an endurance comp. She wouldn't have been the one I probably would have picked to win an endurance comp, but coming up big for her there. She goes all the way to part 3, but I think she's got a really good shot to win, even if she doesn't win part 3. And I think she has a good shot of getting taken there by either of them. But if she wants to secure her spot, the best way to do it is win in part 3. But yeah, let's see where we're at. Looks like MJ didn't actually play a game at the college level. Houston Christian University tweeted congratulations for her BB selection and called her a past volleyball scholarship recipient. Interesting. So she got the scholarship, but never actually maybe played on the team, potentially. Either way, still to be offered the scholarship alone, pretty good. I wanted to do BB when I was younger till I realized I had a hard time with goodbyes and figured I'd have a hard time and be a crier. Now I'm just too old. Never say that, Mad Chatter. Never say that. You're never too old. Never too old. Some of our favorite house guests have been on the older end of the scale. Never. Don't give up. And hey, listen, if you're a crier in there, it might be some entertainment too. You're going to have to get used to the goodbyes. They're going to get harder and harder as time goes on. When is finale? Sunday. You're welcome. Well, thank you, Karen. They should do a couples BB. So they did kind of something like that on BB9. Kind of infamous for being a terrible season, though I will say it had a lot of craziness, a lot of drama. The feeds that was a wild time back in the day, let me tell you. But what they did on that season was everyone took one of those like personality tests. This was right around when like Match.com became a thing, right? And like people would do these like compatibility tests to find like their true match. So they had everybody do these relationship tests to see who would pair up, and then they paired them all up into teams in the house, right? So they were duos, guy and girl. And then there was also a guy and guy team as well. But one of the teams was actually already a pre-existing relationship coming into the game, but they didn't pair them up. They split them up into two other pairs. So some poor schmucks in there were paired up with somebody who were already in a relationship with somebody else in the house. There was a lot of wild people on that cast too. It was interesting. Maybe not the best strategic wise, but definitely wild nonetheless. Couples will be fun. What do you think Derrick may say? I'm not sure. He might just give them kind of like a little bit of an encouragement as they go into the final HoH, talk about how important it is, but also maybe on who you take, right? He was the benefit factor of not winning the final three, but being taken and winning. So maybe he's going to give them a little bit of a talk like that. I could see that. He could also just give them a little bit of just a pep talk as they go on in. He might even just be talking about them about the season. I'm not 100% sure. The video they posted of him looked kind of like AI pixelated, like he was hacking or something. Maybe he's like going to say he was doing investigation on Ainsley or something. I'm not sure. Couldn't be a contestant because the fans are in your personal business involving your family. That can be a thing as well. There's a little bit that you're signing up for when you're going into it. Not necessarily saying it should be a thing you should be signing up for when you're just doing a show. Like that's not what you're signing up for, but it does come with the territory, sadly, with that. Would you be interested in a BB Can versus BBUS? Absolutely. It would be amazing if they finally did that. Now could potentially be a time where maybe they do it since there is no Canadian season anymore. But I think if it ever would have happened, it would have happened on the Canadian side. More likely, they would have been more likely to do it. But also, I think BBUS would be the one that would have to do it if they were. So it was always kind of a tough situation. But yeah, I'd be down. There's so many good players on BB Can. Such a deep pool to pull from. You could have a really fun cast. Let's see here. Started watching this season and have been obsessed, but have gone back and watched some others. It would be crazy to apply for 27. It would not be crazy, Ethan. I want to see you on there. Get on the show. Fans get crazy. They do. Some of them go way too far. Derrick X and Claire would be beasts in a couple season. Ooh, they would be. They were great on Amazing Race as well. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that Chinese name that I cannot read. My name is Akira. Well, nice to meet you, Akira. Hopefully, things go a little bit better for you. Derrick probably tell them that Tucker was AI. Good morning, Ori. I just woke up. I slept in again. I'm here now. Well, glad you got some good rest. Thanks for joining us. MJ probably the dumbest player of all time. I don't know if she's the dumbest player of all time. I think she just got manipulated by Chelsea. I think it's more of a really good play from Chelsea to pull her in at the time that she did. It's, I've mentioned it before. When there's people on the outs, bring them in, give them a home, make them a part of your group. They will be loyal to you for that. They will want to repay you for making them feel safe, for making them feel comfortable. And Chelsea did that at the perfect time, and at a time where she was actually a little bit vulnerable as well. Let's see. Chelsea and MJ would make a great team on an Amazing Race. That would be a fun one. Still live? Yes, I'm excited now. Thank you. Stephanie, we are still live. We're actually coming on almost 2 hours now. I was going to go over the season kind of week by week, but we ended up getting distracted. I feel like we normally do. So we went on some tangents there, 100%. But I can't tell you how much fun these Friday morning streams have been. We started doing them last season, maybe about midway through. I forget even why. I think what it was, one of the days where they just stayed up so late that I was what am I going to do? I can't record. By the time I record and edit, it'll be noon by the time the update would go up. So I was like, why not? Why don't we just go live? Right? Why don't we just go live on this Friday morning? We'll just do it that way. So it started as kind of a spur of the moment thing. And then it was a lot of fun. I was like, what if we just keep doing the Friday morning lives? Right? This is kind of a good time. Come on in, get your coffee, hang out. We talk about what happened. And then we continued them this season. I've had a lot of fun doing them. And yeah, it's been awesome. Let's see here. They definitely make a great team together in the regular circumstances. MJ is in the pedal room, stirring around, can't sleep, while Chelsea and Cam are in the rock room, sound asleep. That's okay. We love you. I appreciate that. I'm afraid she might be biased towards Chelsea. Who's that? Hey, Hori, I'm late. Amy, what are you doing being so late? Well, thanks for coming on in. Let's see where we at. They would make a great team, MJ and Chelsea. I think she trusts Chelsea and knows Chelsea knows the game. You don't get this far being the stupidest. That's 100% with you, Mitch, right? There are times where people just kind of get dragged to the end. But I don't think anyone of the final three are not game savvy, right? I think even Cam sees the game well. He just really never had an opportunity to have control in the game because he couldn't win competitions, right? He was always coming up short on that aspect. But when he would talk about the game, when he would talk about strategy, he always had a pretty good mind for it, right? And I think if he would have been able to get a couple of wins under his belt, maybe have had a little bit more control over things, I think he would have been respected by the jury. But because of that, it kind of leaves him a little bit lacking there. But he's definitely not a stupid player. I think MJ, again, also did a lot, maybe not on the strategic side, and maybe was manipulated some ways. But from her POV, from what she was getting the info from, partly from a good job from Chelsea, she was making the moves that she felt like were best for her game. Some of them weren't, obviously, but also just teaming up with Chelsea in general and going along with that, it did really well for her game and got her to the point where she is now. Sunday morning live? Ooh, maybe? I don't know. That feels like a lot. That feels like a lot. We will be live for the finale, though. I love the lives with people who like the same things and not mean, and that's why I come here. So first off, yes, I love the community that we have here because even when we don't have the same views on things, that's actually what I love more. I kind of love when you guys disagree with me a little bit and we don't have the same views on things, because one of my favorite things is having those conversations, right? Hearing out your guys' points, hearing out my points, having just a good dialect back and forth of our different viewpoints maybe getting to understand the viewpoint of the other person, maybe never ever agreeing on it, but having just good convos about the game we love. Here's the thing, right? Like, I rag on the Cowboys, right? And if you ask me, I hate them. I hate every player. I hate the team. I hate the colors. I hate their logo. But at the end of the day, I'm sure their fans hate the Eagles just as much. But at the end of the day, why do we hate? Because we love the same thing, right? We love football, right? We're not that different. Same thing with Big Brother. You might be a big fan of one particular player. I might be a big fan of another particular player or different styles of the game. But at the end of the day, we all love Big Brother. We love this game and how it plays out. So yeah, I definitely always try and build a community where it's like, hey, if you have a different opinion, you are more than welcome here. I want to hear you out. I want to hear that. We don't have to get toxic. Nobody has to get mean or nasty and any of that stuff, which can happen. Though I will say, I think in general, tides are turning, right? I think people are done with the negativity. I think people want to hear more positive and good discussions than back and forth, just bitter words at each other. And I think that's kind of a little bit of a movement we're seeing more and more. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Did you see that Julie confirmed that Big Brother will be back next year? Yeah, so they said about casting and how it's coming on back. Somebody was saying like they didn't think it would and they didn't think it was doing good in the ratings. Actually, I think on our last live, we talked about that a little bit and I showed some of the ratings. I couldn't show exactly what I wanted to show, but I think I showed enough of like ratings are actually pretty decent, right? Overall, they weren't really losing viewers. They were winning their time slot, which is a huge thing for most of their days. There was only one they weren't. I don't know how the new owners of Paramount view the show, but I'm hopeful that they view it as a solid asset. So yeah, I think Big Brother has a decent future going ahead because at the end of the day, it's fairly cheap. It's not that expensive. It gives them lots of content in the summer, which is usually a dead time for content. So I think overall it's worth keeping around. It's worth pushing and it's worth investing in a little bit and putting out the best product they can. As far as intelligence, none of these are at the bottom 6 or even 7. They are all solid. Now, if we're talking about common sense, John, I'm with you. Awesome AM Maury, thank you for the score updates. I'm on the top with my blind picks. Unbelievable. I really dig your style. Thank you, Ori. I appreciate that. Actually, I haven't updated the draft fully. I have to do that. I think I have up until last veto. I think MJ winning veto might have been the last update. I'll have to get the weeks updated, then also Chelsea's part 1 comp updated. It doesn't count as an HoH win, but it does count as a post-jury comp win. But yeah, definitely make sure you're getting ready for the draft because we will find out who won our draft as well. My team, I could still get the winner. I have Chelsea on my team. But that was about it. I had Cedric and I had Leah. Leah didn't do too bad, right? But Cedric was kind of dragging me down a little bit. I'd love to see America's favorite player go to someone who could use the money. I just, that's always a nice aspect. I just always go for who I think played the hardest, who brought the most, excitement to the game. For me, that was Tucker. But I think there's lots of good options. That's the Eagles' way to rag on the Cowgirls. You ain't wrong. Yes, good conversations. I'm joining late from Nevada. Better than not joining at all. Welcome on in, Sandy D. I hate the Cowboys too and don't even watch football. Not that I care. Not if they win. It's just not funny. We need more love in the world and Leslie, 100%. Much better. Yes, I saw that chart you were showing. Nice. I appreciate that. Glad you enjoy it. I'd like to get rid of Paramount if they stopped Big Brother. I'd just get rid of Paramount if they stop Big Brother. Yeah, it was kind of a tentpole for that streaming service. I don't know what the future is of it now. They've got new owners. We'll see what direction they go with it. But I think Big Brother is a big, valuable asset, right? With it being live, it being people there. I think you could do a lot with it if you're smart about it. Let's see. While Cam didn't make huge moves, he wasn't making himself a threat to be taken out early like Matt, Cedric, Tucker. 100% agree, right? Like he had a decent social game. He just wasn't winning competitions, which helped him not be a threat. Then also he wasn't able to actually win them when he needed to as well. But overall, no, I agree, right? Cam is not a terrible player. He just didn't really ever have agency in the game for winning things. But he did always make sure that he wasn't a target and there were always other better options and he was putting himself in good spots. America's favorite player, I'd really like Quinn to have a shot. He got messed up by Angela and got lucky with his alliances. That's true too. He did. Cam did get a little lucky with his situations, but also you could see that as just, identifying a good situation to be in and going with it. Did someone from BB supervise the house guests and the jury? Yes, so they do have I believe they call them like mom and dad, right? Like little production people who are there getting what they need, kind of keeping an eye on them, make sure they don't get into trouble and run off. Very much Angela could I missed that. Where was it? Angela could use the money. She wouldn't be a bad pick, and I think she's got a shot. I think she does have a shot. For my first pick, I did a blind pick, and it was Cam. He was my only draft pick left. All in good fun, 100%. How would anybody know who needs the money, though? That's true, right? Everybody, has different reasons probably for it. At the end of the day, for me, it really should all just be about how you play, right? Like, who needs the money and not really shouldn't come into it. But I do think people who need the money should play hard, right? And usually do play a little bit harder. Because again, at the end of the day, this is life-changing money for somebody. Fight for it, right? Fight for it. That's what I want at the end of the day. What was part one comp? Endurance. So they kind of had to like hang into a bar. I think almost like the wall, but different. Angela or Tucker for America's favorite player, or you should have some pull with Big Brother, beg them to let us have the rewind and flashback. Do I have pull? I don't have any pull. Me? They don't even answer my emails. You kidding me? Quinn for America's favorite player. I love football. I'm a Bengals fan. So glad you're not a Steelers fan. We could be friends if you were a Pittsburgh. We couldn't be friends if you were a Pittsburgh fan. I will say it, like I'm not a Pittsburgh hater. There was the Steagles for a little bit. But yeah, birds through and through. Right? Yeah, I bleed green over here. We got Quinn for America's favorite. I saw something. Ori, do you think Chelsea would take Cam or MJ and is lying to MJ? It seems Chelsea is more cutthroat to win. I agree. And I do think she's probably more likely to take Cam because it locks up a win. But I could see her taking MJ. But I think she would be more likely to take Cam. Last year, Dag didn't need the money and he won. And he fought for it, right? He never mentioned the money or anything like that. He just fought to be the winner. And that's all I care about at the end. Fight to win. What personality? Big Hog would be great. Boss Hog would be great. I'm voting Angela because she gives them young people a run for their money. Gonna miss the Big Brother Ori content. I have some ideas from some stuff in the off season as well. So make sure you stay tuned. We got some other cool reality stuff that we're going to be doing on Twitch and Kick, so make sure you check that out as well. Misty, I love live in PA, so Steelers all around for me, but like I said, I don't watch football. I think you have pull. Wink. I don't know about that. I wish I did. Miss Angela for America's favorite player at Tucker. I wonder if Cam will be mad at Chelsea. And when he finds out he couldn't get petted anymore due to Chelsea's jealousy and lying to him saying it was drawing attention. She has them sweating. She just didn't have a good alliance. Her game was mostly on herself, and that's commendable. The Cowboys love all their haters. I'm from Pittsburgh. No hate on my Steelers. Hey, listen, actually, if you want to go back, you want to go way back, here's a fun fact. Did you know if you're a Steelers fan, you're technically an Eagles fan? And I'm an Eagles fan, but technically I'm a Steelers fan. Here's why. The original Eagles were the Steelers, and the original Steelers were the Eagles. Now, I'm sure you're aware of the Steagles, where during World War II, they came together to form one team, one season only. They were the Philly Steagles. But what not many people know is there was actually a trade between owners of the organizations. So the Steelers became the Eagles, and the Eagles became the Steelers, and they swapped teams, which is actually a little bit of a thing, right? So the old Eagles players, the next season, all became Steelers players. And the old Steelers players all became Eagles players. They just swapped jerseys and teams. It was a wild time back in the day. So it's a little bit of a thing. Let's see where we're at here. Jag wanted to be a representative for his community. I'll say this about that kind of narrative. And it's like, listen, whatever you want to play for is whatever you want to play for. I get it. But at the end of the day, for me, you know what I'm representing? My bank account. That's what I'm representing. That's the only community that matters, is the community of dollar bills that are in my bank account. We need to grow that community, and we need to represent that community. That's what really is important. I don't necessarily care what you're playing for, other than you're playing to win. If you want to win, that's what's important to me. I was born and raised in Western PA. The only team I don't like more than the Cowboys is the Steelers. I'm a Niners fan. Oh, no, Karen. How'd you end up a Niners fan in Western PA? Nothing wrong with that. I completely disagree. Tucker as AFP, Angela AFP all the way. Isn't something he said in an interview? Ooh, maybe. Angela for AFP. Oh, wow. 7 something. Oh, where'd that go? Oh, I lost it. 7:15 BB time, and they're up. By the way, I made a humorous content using the preschool word. That happens sometimes. What are you doing, John? John, what are you doing? Don't play. Don't play with your stool. I thought we learned that in preschool. I thought we learned that beforehand. Stephanie R, I get it. We can be friends if you're not a Steelers fan. Cincy and Pittsburgh are rivals, so that's why. I live in Dayton, Ohio, so I also dislike the Cowboys. My dad has Steelers all over the house. It's a guy thing. Steagles, yes. Sounds like the Browns became. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that, right? But that was more because like the Browns moved to Baltimore and they became the Ravens. And then when they brought the Browns back as an expansion team, they like gave them the history of it. But yeah, it was kind of like where the Browns team, like they have the history of what currently is the Ravens team. It's like a weird little thing. But yeah, it was like just a full-on trading of teams. Where were we? That's why I love you, Ori. Obviously, MJ is outnumbered on jury. I think that doesn't matter. I think that doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Hail to the Commanders. I love it here. Thank you so much. My neighbor is a 49ers fan, lives in PA. Asked the same question, how they liked a faraway team. Glad I'm not the only one who thought that. I always love too, like stories of people who aren't from an area that end up liking a team in like another area, like how that came to be. Was it, like the colors that you loved, or like a particular player that you loved? And I always love hearing those different kinds of stories. Right, all that matters is the money. I hate when people say they want to make jury. No, I want to win it all. Chiefs all the way. Hey, listen, I got love for Andy. And he'll always have a special place in my heart. Happy for his success. But next time we play him, I need to beat him. I don't think the jury is going to be bitter like we think. I don't think so either. Okay, we're with NFL history. I agree with the bank account community. I'll be having Big Brother withdrawals next week when the feeds and the show is over. I deal with it every season. Hate for it to end. It always is a little bit bittersweet, right? Like I'm relieved that it's over, right? Like I'm very happy that it's wrapping up, but also it was such a great season. And this one felt like it flew by way better than 25 did, which, oh my God, I was wearing a Halloween costume. Guys, we were doing a Friday update and I was wearing a Halloween costume. The horns that you see right there, I'm pointing at them, the Loki horns, I had a wig. It was a whole thing, guys. Where are we at here? Hate for it to end the reel. I'm from the island on the east coast of Canada. I've been a Colorado Avalanche fan because McDonald's gave me a shiny Patrick Roy card in a Happy Meal as a kid. That is awesome. So you're a newfie, huh? You're over on the east coast there, bud, huh? You living your best kind? Yeah. I'm familiar with the East Coast over there, White Gold. I know how it is up there. You guys know how to party. That's for sure. Right, I can follow basketball. I understand it more, but my uncle do go by colors or players in football. And that's the thing. It's always kind of funny when like there's just like a particular player when you're a kid that catches your eye, or maybe it was the color, or I've heard a lot of stories like that too, where families that were like in areas where like they don't have a team, like one uncle loves the Raiders and one uncle loves the Cowboys and one uncle loves, the Eagles and one uncle loves the Bears or something, right? And it's always kind of fun to hear those, family rivalries and how they all pick their teams. They forgot to feed the fish for 2 days. Oh no! Hopefully they're okay. As an Oilers fan, I'm bitter that the Browns got special treatment. Sure, they have a much more storied history, but to let Houston have the Oilers and their history again was not cool. I'm with you on that, right? The Titans keeping that, like, it should go back to Houston, right? They should be able to wear the Oilers throwback jersey, right? It doesn't make sense for Tennessee to keep that. Let's see. But I guess at the end of the day, it is the owner's option. It's their prerogative, right? Whether or not they release it. But I'm with you. They should give it back. Me too. Withdrawals are real. Wow. Forgot the fish again. Oh no. That was a great thing about Tucker. Tucker never forgot the fish. He made sure those fish got fed. Auntie Chelsea talking to the fish this morning. FYI, you can vote using a fake email address. Oh, 88 cams up to tricks. 88 cams. Like, listen, I lie, cheat, and steal to make sure I get what I want. Don't forget to like and share. I appreciate that, Misty. That's right. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a good time, make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. I'm going to try and catch up here on the chat. We're probably going to wrap it up here in just a bit. The Colts were Baltimore Colts first. That's true as well. Mine is because when I was young, I thought Joe Montana was an awesome quarterback. And just followed them ever since. As I got older, my license plate on my car was S Young. That's awesome. I will have withdrawals to when with no BB. I won't comment on the quality of the accent, but yes. It wasn't great. Do you think CBS will shorten the season? These last 10 days, brutal for the house guests. I would like to see the final week, right? Like the final 5 kind of tightened up. I think so. It is always just a real dip in a lull in the season. But I would love it if they did. I don't know if they will, but I think it could be done and done a lot better. I can't see you. Screen is black. Oh no. Hold on, let me see. I think that might be you. Maybe reload. Refresh. Yeah, try refreshing. Also, yeah, Nightbot just posted a bunch of socials. You can check out all that kind of stuff if you want. There's things like Throne, the Ori Fund. You can join the channel as well. Easiest way to support is hitting that thumbs up button. Check out Twitch and Discord and Kick and Twitter as well. Follow what you want. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff during the off season on there. My family's all Pats fans, but I choose to be stubborn and root for the Jets because of Mark Sanchez. Hindsight is 2020. Yeah, the good old butt fumble, the hot. You know what though? Here's the thing. That Jets team that was coached by Rex Ryan with Sanchez at QB, those 2 seasons were phenomenal defense. Sanchez was just kind of a game manager at that point, right? It was really all about running the ball. I think you guys had LaDainian Tomlinson for the end of his career, right then? And that was a fun team to watch and came so close. They came so close. We were 1 game away from the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's a little bit of rough times for you since then. Cam and Chelsea are up at 7:30. Wonder what's up. Oh, MJ is up too. It could be that they're getting them up this early for the HoH competition. Could just be that they can't sleep. Ori, is Discord free as well? Yes, free, 100% free. You can join the Discord, hang out, talk about different things in there, all different channels for different topics and stuff like that. 100% free. Houseguests are awake. Why? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they just couldn't sleep and they all got up, or maybe they're just getting ready to start the HoH for part 2. Stiegel's final 2 alliance for me in the NFL as a Pittsburgh fan. I'm down. We got it. Got it. Thank you. Chelsea grabbed a bunch of Band-Aids. Hope she's okay. Hey, Ori, double check those links on Nightbot. I clicked them and they didn't work for me. Oh, no. I got to look into that. Sometimes they're broken. Check out, there's a description of the stream. That's got a lot of them too as well. I was wrong. Chelsea was getting alcohol swabs for her nails. They made them all get up. Oops, I was right. A bunch of Band-Aids on her fingers. Injuries. Oh, that makes sense. Must be getting ready to start. I think so. I think so. And with that, I think we are going to kind of wrap it up on here. I was going to go over the season, but we've been going now for what? Almost 2.5 hours. I want to thank you guys all for joining me. Let's see here. Let's finish up. I think part 2 of HoH comp is more difficult than 1. It can be, because it can be physical and memory based. Screen went to "We'll be right back," but then came back, but then they were called. Oh, on the feeds. That makes sense. So I predict MJ will win part 2. Ooh, good prediction. I want to thank you guys all again for joining me. These streams and updates have been so much fun. We will probably have an update for you tomorrow morning on any information that we get from the live feeds today. And then Sunday will be our finale. We might have an update on Sunday morning if we have information for you, but we will definitely be live Sunday night here for the finale, so make sure you come on out for that. Thank you guys all again so much for the love and support that you show me here on this channel. I cannot thank you guys enough for all of that. Check out all my socials: Twitch, Discord, Kick, Twitter. I know I say it a lot, and I know some of you don't care, but check them on out. I think we're going to have a good time during the off season. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure if you are new here, you hit that subscribe button. If you like this live stream, if you had a good time, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.
But you should be